Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Telfair Elementary School, and welcome to what I am incredibly excited to announce here with all of you today. I am joined by my very good friend since 7th grade, the principal of this fine academic establishment, Mr. Jose Razo, our executive director of North Valley Caring Services, school board member Kelly Gonez, and families that are part of the critical group of individuals that we're here to serve. Today, I'm very proud to announce that through the collaborative efforts of working with my office, LA Unified, and North Valley Caring Services, that we are creating the first of its kind one-stop shop housing navigation center for families in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. This program is going to be co-locating critical resources that are going to be instrumental in helping to assure that we are advancing the housing opportunities being connected to families in critical need in the North Valley. And the reason why this program came together, I want to thank Governor Newsom and Mayor Garcetti for their advocacy in creating the allocation of resources through the state's HEAP fund that provided in January $500,000 that allowed us to create this innovative program that we are unveiling today. The North Valley Caring Services is a nonprofit organization and part of the spoke of services and the wheel of services that we are providing here to help address our immense homelessness crisis here in the city of Los Angeles. And what's important about North Valley Caring Services is that we have together innovated a number of other programs which is deemed incredibly successful. From the safe parking program that we unveiled roughly 6 months ago, that also the first of its kind, providing RV parking. We have housed over 28 individuals now, and that number continues to grow. But it's through these innovative approaches that we are going to continue to help crack on this housing crisis, this homeless crisis, and make sure that we are connecting families to the critical resources that are going to assure their stability and their housing security. And so with that, I am delighted to actually inform you of some of the offerings that are the way this is all going to work and how we created this program. I am just about to conclude my second year in office. And from the moment I was elected, I understood that we had a critical need that we needed to address, not just in the city of Los Angeles, but as a representative in the North San Fernando Valley. We had to make sure that we were providing a comprehensive suite of services to assure that families were getting housed. And so through the creation of my homelessness task force, we assembled all of the critical service providers, the housing, service providers in the nonprofit sector, our city partners, and our county partners to together try and identify where we had housing gaps or gaps in service to assure that we were connecting families to the resources that they needed. Through that process, we were collaborating with Principal Razo, whose campus is home to one of the largest populations of homeless families in LA Unified. And we identified this critical opportunity where we could co-locate LA Unified support staff with our housing navigation providers from our SPA lead, LA Family Housing, at the facility in North Valley Caring Services, where they are located in North Hills, to provide that direct referral system for families at LA Unified campuses that are going to help matriculate from the school campus to the Housing Navigation Center and make sure that we are connecting them to not just the housing that they need, because we are meeting families where they're at. Some folks might just need a voucher, some need a much broader range of support services, which will be available and provided at North Valley Caring Services. So what we are offering at that facility is the shower program, the food pantry program. They're working with the youth and the families that are living in many of our motels up and down the Sepulveda corridor here in the North Valley. But we are also providing the support services of childcare, which is critical to many single mothers and families who desperately need that childcare support so that they can continue to expand their opportunities and get back on their feet. Moreover, what we are offering at that location is the critical employment resources that will help assure that they get connected to the opportunities that will help stabilize their family environment and get them back into housing. And so while I am disheartened by the results of our homeless count, I am proud of the fact that here in my district, that in 2 years, I have created a suite of services that is attacking this problem with the urgency that it deserves. From our emergency winter shelter, which is the only shelter that services the entire San Fernando Valley, to the safe parking program, which is accommodating RVs as well, to the bridge housing that is imminently opening in the North Valley, to the 222 existing permanent supportive housing units, and the next 140 units that are right now online in my district. This is the kind of comprehensive effort that I am determined to make the example for us to extend the success and expand on attacking this critical, homelessness crisis with the urgency that it deserves. And so with that, again, I am joined. I want to thank a few folks, including the LA Unified staff that was instrumental in helping us get this MOU facilitated in an expedited fashion, because without them, we would not be able to launch this program. And I want to thank my friend, school board member Nick Melvoin, for his assistance with this. I want to thank Denise Miranda, Leticia Alvarado, Daniel Ramaj. Those are individuals that have been critical to helping us get this MOU in place to develop a first-of-its-kind partnership that involves LA Unified, LA City, all of our support providers, to make sure that our families get the resources that they need. And so with that, I'd like at this time to introduce my very good friend. The bell has rung.
We're out of school.
We're ringing the bell. But at this time, I would like to introduce my very good friend, who I've had the privilege of knowing since 7th grade at Pacoima Middle School, our principal, Jose Razo.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Rodriguez. I am grateful for this partnership, and I look forward to bringing much-needed services to our community. I know firsthand the challenges that my students, families, and the community face on a daily basis, and I know this will be a blessing to many of them. Having the services readily available for them in a one-stop shop, having the district services as well as county and local city officials support, it means the world to us. I look forward to seeing all these things that come with this partnership, and I would like to thank and commend our Councilwoman for taking the lead on this. A lot of people say they're going to do something, and I appreciate her actually taking action and starting a task force and getting this going. So thank you very much, Councilwoman.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose. And as I mentioned, part of the unique opportunity that we have a number of wonderful nonprofit service providers that are helping to address our homelessness crisis every day. But there are small, nimble organizations that with a little bit support can expand their scope of service and help fill the gaps of where we have these critical needs. And it was through the partnership that we developed with North Valley Caring Services that we unveiled, I think, the successful example of our safe parking program, but what I also think is going to be the next success story that we'll be able to tell citywide, and that's through the development of this one-stop shop in our Family Navigation Center. And with that, I'd like to introduce my very good friend and co-conspirator, Manny Flores.
I'd like to thank Principal Razo for hosting us in this press conference, and the Councilwoman for being a champion for this particular cause. She did such a wonderful job of describing the services that we have at North Valley Caring Services that I think I want to spend a little bit more time really emphasizing on the fact that we're not new to servicing families. North Valley Caring Services has actually been servicing these families for over 2 years. We sort of discovered them in our neighborhood. They were placed in motels. And as we just started to get to know our friends, we realized that while they were waiting for housing, there were things that were necessary for support. And one of the things were meals. Burning through food stamps because there's not microwaves or refrigeration in the rooms was something that was a problem. So we made sure we started an outreach in which we would take hot meals out to the motels. And I think we started with one motel, maybe about 20 families. And now on a weekly basis on Wednesday nights, we serve over 240 meals to 5 motels. And we expect that to grow some. And in the course of being relational with these families, we discovered other needs. That while these families are waiting to get housed, they're struggling with childcare. They're struggling to clothe their families. They're struggling for a safe place to have that is not the motel on Sepulveda Boulevard. And so as we continue to work with these families, we had hoped that a day like this would come in which we could possibly offer these families even more. I would definitely like to thank some groups that have been instrumental in us being able to serve these families. Definitely we're so excited to be collaborating with LAUSD as well as LA Family Housing to make sure that there's no cracks in the service. But as well, our partner agency, San Fernando Valley Partnership, Oikos 445 Ministry, the United Methodist Church, the Valley Food Bank, Children's Hunger Fund, and a huge volunteer corps who generously devote of their time. Everything that we've done up to now has been based on in-kind donations. So it's very exciting to think of what we're going to be able to do with support. And it's going to take collaborations, more collaborations, to be able to work with all the schools that are represented as well as all the families that are in motels. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Manny, and thank you to your incredible team that has been instrumental in doing that outreach effort that has continued to generate great success for the families in the North Valley. We are indebted to you for your service, your compassion, but your relentless tenacity. I really appreciate having partners with you and everyone in the community to make sure that we are addressing this issue with every ounce of urgency that it deserves. And with that, I'd like to introduce a very special lady that has she's part of the story that we're here to tell today about why we are all here and why it is so important that we have these comprehensive suite of services to assure that more families get connected and get housed. Lucy Thompson has been shuffled from motels along the Sepulveda corridor and Sylmar since December of 2018. When she met North Valley Caring Services on a Wednesday night outreach effort, she and her 15-year-old daughter got connected to North Valley Caring Services and are being supported by them today. Lucy is a regular volunteer at our weekly food bank that is offered at North Valley Caring Services, and she's here to tell her story with all of you.
Well, hi, my name is Lucy Thompson, and I'm here to express myself to actually thank the North Valley Caring Services. If it wouldn't have been for them, I don't know where we would be. They help us with everything, from clothing to food to all kinds of resources. And now knowing that they're gonna have childcare, it's gonna help us with our kids. Having that safe program for them and for us to focus on getting jobs, so we could move on and be able to have a home and have, the ability to know that our kids are safe. And knowing that this program is so wonderful for us, I just don't know how to explain that. And thanks to Monica and Manny, that we are able to move on and hoping for the best for me and my family.
Thank you so much. And again, solving our homeless crisis isn't something that's going to be achieved overnight. I'm really proud of the innovations that are happening here in my district, because my hope is that collectively, with the collaborations that we are creating here, we can help expand upon them and be able to potentially lend themselves to being successful citywide. And so it's through the aspirational goals of some, community folks that we are pulling this program together, and I'm really optimistic about its potential to service the needs of the families in the North Valley. And so with that, I'd actually like to give some remarks in Spanish for our Spanish language media. Estoy emocionada de estar aquí con ustedes. Hoy anunciamos la apertura de un centro de recursos para apoyar a las familias sin hogares aquí en el Valle de San Fernando. Cuando las familias pierden su vivienda permanente Muchas veces viven en los moteles. Los moteles son ambientes difíciles para la familia. Esto es un problema para muchas familias de Telfair. Una escuela detiene muchos niños con familias sin vivienda. Yo aseguré una inversión de $500,000 para crear este programa. North Valley Caring Services va a operar un centro de recursos para la familia sin hogar. Los servicios incluyen administradores de casos, programas de comida, servicios de duchas, actividades para los niños que viven en moteles, programa de trabajo y cuidado infantil. LAUSD ahora puede referir directamente a los estudiantes y familias que necesitan ayuda al centro de servicios. El centro es una colaboración entre la ciudad, los proveedores de servicios para personas sin hogar y LA Unified. Necesitamos trabajar juntos para combatir esta crisis. Muchísimas gracias. And with that, thank you. And so I think at this time we'll go ahead and open it up for any questions. So this is a pilot, much like when we piloted the safe parking program and demonstrated the success of that program, we went out to seek additional resources. And so again, this is the start of creating a partnership, a pilot partnership that I believe will result in some pretty critical early results in connecting many of these families with a direct referral system from LA Unified to these to this navigation center. And so upon its launch, when we have numbers, we are happy to share them. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. It costs too much for us to not do anything. And so what we're doing is providing the suite of services that are going to be critical to supporting the families in need here in the North San Fernando Valley. So that is why we've created this comprehensive suite of services to assure that these families get the support that they need to be successful, to get them into housing and to get them connected to the resources that will provide them the security that they need. So we've secured $500,000 to start this pilot that is co-locating LA Family Housing, LA Unified Support Staff, North Valley Caring Service, just to provide the suite of services that they're going to be offering at this location. So this collaboration, we will be fully staffed up July 1st.
We will be at approximately 40%, and then we'll be ramping up the rest of the month of July.
Right. So we're starting to ramp up this program. As far as the situation, the circumstances that we find ourselves in right now, as Manny mentioned, we have a number of families that are living in motels. We have a number of families that through LA Unified's assistance we've identified as having these critical housing needs. And so we're continuing, as it currently exists, as the way programs currently exist, families are left to their own devices to try and identify where they need to go to get connected to these critical resources. This one-stop shop is going to enable them to not just get the referral directly from LA Unified, but it's going to all be located at North Valley Caring Services with the housing navigators that are provided through LA Family Housing. This collaboration is the first of its kind to make sure that families don't have to go independently seeking out all these different locations for the different services, but they will have one place to go to get the resources that they need.
Do you know how many families you guesstimate that you're going to be helping?
There is no way to guesstimate.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to first just add a comment to the question. If you can imagine the most cost-efficient motels in San Fernando Valley, that's where some of our families are placed. And if you can imagine the issues relating to the most cost-efficient motels, all of those are prevalent. So for us to come in and be a support to these families is crucial. In regards to how many families we can serve, it all depends. The numbers are pretty staggering in regards to how many families we have living in motels, and some of it will be on-site based services, and also we plan to go out into the motels and establish an outreach program that includes after-school tutoring, as well as another meal program, and also a mentorship program. And also referrals from LAUSD for families who have a different definition of homelessness will require other services and will be definitely different numbers. When you think of the homeless population represented in this school, it's pretty staggering. But we plan to be of some service through our programs, whether it's through our food pantry, where we give food out every Friday to over 400 families. 35,000 pounds of food is what we average, or whether we are participating in clothes drives, backpacks, shoes, whatever it is. We have a very generous donor base, and we hope that part of what we're doing here today is expanding on that donor base as well.
I can already kind of hear some heads on the west side kind of wrapping around the idea of homeless services in schools and whether or not that's going to be a trend that spreads across the city. Is there...
So I think just to correct, it's not in the school, it's connecting the referral system to the critical, the service providers, which doesn't currently exist right now.
Well, I guess to put a point on my question, assuage those fears that there would be homeless services connected to specifically schools. I mean, is that something that people should be concerned about, or is this more a conduit for really getting after the issue?
So I think there's nothing to fear in making sure that we're providing housing for families and connecting them to resources that are going to enable youth success in the city of Los Angeles. And this is an important part of us solving the problem. We saw a critical gap in making sure that families who have that are experiencing homelessness, who don't have the services that they need to support them in their success. I don't think this is anything to fear. I think this is everything to celebrate about how the agencies, both municipal, county, our nonprofit service providers and LA Unified are coming together to attack the issue with every sense of urgency that it deserves. Our kids deserve it, our families deserve it, and we are going to work tirelessly to help combat this homelessness crisis. And this is about us all coming together as a community to support these families and assure their success.
I would also say that the referral system is not only going to be from LAUSD to North Valley Caring Services, it's going to be from North Valley Caring Services also to LAUSD. Mm-hmm. To come into school and to report that you're a homeless family is something that is not easy. There's still so much stigma that is attached to homelessness that it might be much easier for families to come in and disclose to us, who we have a different type of relationship with, and then we can go ahead and refer them back to LAUSD.
Can you describe the conditions at these hotels? It sounds like you're intimating that they're not very good, and wondering how that plays into the whole thing.
So that wouldn't be a fair statement. Motels vary, and they vary in various locations and various different conditions. But what I can tell you is, for the most part, most of these motels are not equipped for long residential stays. So anything more than 90 days, I think we can safely consider a long-term placement. So when you think of families that, for the most part, are dependent on food stamps, then most of that money is gone early on in the month. So for us to come in and support those families, and also support them while there are children growing up in these motels, we want to be able to somehow soften the experience of being in these motels, which in some cases can be very traumatic.
So they're having to use their own money to pay for the hotels, and then on top of that, they're getting food assistance?
So I really wouldn't want to speak on the actual program that involves another agency. What I can tell you is that in many cases, to place somebody from a motel into permanent housing can take over a year.
And Councilwoman, how long have you been working on this? You know, I mean, obviously, with this coming out this week, you've got two different issues that are converging on what you're talking about. How long has this been in the pipeline?
So it was about over a year ago that I had first introduced a motion that was seeking to create some type of collaborative working with LA's Best, because I knew that many families were self-reporting their homeless status. And I was trying to figure out a way that we could facilitate this, but it was through the cooperative work of through my homelessness task force, working with Principal Razzo, that we identified how do we get this on the ground floor level and make it a street smart solution. And bringing Manny together, it was a roundtable conversation, and so it was in January that that I secured the resources with the state HEAP funds, and here we are today, launching this program.
Would this have been impossible without you?
Absolutely. We needed that seed money to start this program, and I think, again, the goal here is to assure its success and making sure that all these cooperative partnerships are going to help result in improving our numbers as it relates to the homeless. And I'm very optimistic because I've seen the good results that have come through our collaborations, most recently with our safe parking program, and so I'm optimistic about the work that's going to be resulting in this collaboration.
Does the program only involve families with children in the LA Unified School District, or any family?
So any family is welcome, but this is a unique partnership because we are able to directly facilitate families that are, that are going to be referred from the campuses to this navigation center. But we, also, as Manny mentioned, it's a proactive external outreach effort as well. It's not just a wait for you all to come. We are equally aggressive in going out and reaching folks where they're at, because we understand sometimes they just don't know where to go. And so we're trying to provide both efforts combined to help solve this crisis.
Is there a challenge getting all these services together under one umbrella and say this is one comprehensive program?
It's never a simple solution, but I think, again, it was through sheer will of making sure that we can all address this crisis, that we will find ways of working together and finding the opportunities to innovate and collaborate, and that's what we're here to do today. And so I'm really proud of that, about this effort. And again, I've got some can-do folks that I like to work with here in the North Valley, and so it's through that I believe we'll be able to demonstrate more aggressive successes going forward. 7th District, my district. We're good? Okay, thank you all very much. Appreciate you being here.